This one thing changed my life, I want to say forever. I'm going to walk you through my experience with COVID-19, where I felt so bad that I thought I was going to die. I'm going to walk you through how it happened, what happened, how I felt throughout it, and everything in between. Now, I want to start by saying I got COVID-19 twice that I know of. The first time I got it, all that happened was I lost taste in my mouth and I lost smell in my nose. It was very simple. It wasn't that much of a big deal. I was like, oh, this isn't bad at all. I was barely even sick at all. And I recovered. I was like, oh, this is not a big deal. But then the second time I got it was no laughing matter. It was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life by a long shot, to the point where I thought I was gonna die. And I'll tell you about that moment as well. Now, the way I got it was I was taking an improv class. This is in 2022, I believe. I was in an improv class and I remember one of the people seemed kind of sick. And then after that class, we had a group message and that person had said like, hey, I actually tested positive for COVID-19. I thought nothing of it. I was like, that's fine. Then a couple days later though, I started feeling like just a weird feeling. Like I can't describe it that well. It was one of those feelings like, I know I'm getting sick, but it doesn't feel like the other times I've been getting sick. It's one of those like, I know I'm getting sick and I just knew something bad was brewing. It just felt like it. And I was like, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. That night I felt it, like something was coming on with a vengeance. So I go to sleep that night and I remember waking up in the morning. Something just felt really off. I don't know what it was. It just felt really off. So I get up out of my bed, which is right behind us over here, and I walk over to get a water like I do every single morning. And as I'm walking, I feel my head spinning in a way that's, I thought I was just gonna fall over, and I have like an extreme urge to throw up immediately. And so I get down on my knees and I feel myself losing color, and I'm just like on my knees like breathing heavy. I don't know what's happening. I feel like I'm not feeling good. I don't know what's happening. I'm like, maybe I'm just hungry, maybe I haven't had food. So I'm breathing heavy. I'm on the floor. I can't get up because I feel like if I get up, I'm gonna fall over. And I eventually like stay down there for like 10 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm feeling good enough to maybe just drink some water. So I'm still on my knees. I go to the water, I drink some water, and I have like a glass of water. And then all of a sudden, like again, like this intense urge to throw up shows up. So I'm like now panicking and I'm sweating. Like I'm sweating. I've lost all my color. I'm sweating. On my knees, I crawl to the toilet because I'm like, I really feel like I have to throw up. I stay there. I'm breathing. I'm texting my girlfriend who wasn't living with me at the time. Now she lives with me. She wasn't living here at the time. I'm texting her like, I don't feel good. I don't know what's wrong. I feel I feel terrible right now. And I'm with the toilet for 2 hours. I'm hugging the toilet because I felt like I was gonna throw up, but I didn't. So I'm near the toilet for 2 hours. I'm like, okay, something's wrong here. Maybe I gotta eat some food. So I ordered some food and I got it and I had no appetite. I couldn't even, I had like a couple bites and I was like, I can't even look at this food. This is so bad. I had no appetite. Everything I even looked at, I was like, it was just like, there's no way I can eat anything. So from there, I just got sicker and sicker. And it was to the point where all I can do was lay down on the bed. And I was so sick that I couldn't even fall asleep. I started coughing like crazy. My throat was hurting to the point where every time I swallowed, I almost like cried because it was so much pain. I was like, oh, it hurt so bad every single time I swallowed. And when I tried to fall asleep, there was just so much pain and so much coughing, so much headache. I couldn't even like relax enough to fall asleep, which ended up being a big problem as we get through in this story, because I was like, okay, I can't fall asleep. Let me try to like go to the living room and watch some TV. And so I would take like a literal 5 minutes to like crawl my way over to the living room, which is right here. It would take me like 5 minutes to get here. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch some TV. I turn on TV. The second I turn on the TV, my head is spinning. I feel like throwing up. I feel even worse. I can't watch not even a second of TV. I can't watch TV. I can't look at my phone because it feels like I'm gonna die when I look at my phone. Like my head's spinning. I'm coughing as hard as you can imagine. Like one of those dying coughs, right? As hard as you can imagine, my throat feels like it's literally gonna give out on me. I'm scared to swallow because every time I swallow, there's immense pain. I'm taking Tylenol. It's not helping. I'm still dying. I can't even go to the bathroom to take a shower. For 7 days, I didn't take a shower because I didn't have enough energy to stand up in a shower and take a shower. And I remember at nighttime when I was trying to go to sleep, the problem was I had such a high fever. I think it was 103, 104 fever for 5 or 6 days. And I would try to sleep sleep, and I just couldn't sleep because I was sweating from head to toe, like a pool of sweat in the bed. Like I couldn't stop sweating no matter what I did, you know, whether it's with a blanket, without a blanket, it didn't matter. I was just nonstop sweating and nonstop coughing, nonstop in pain, and my brain and my mind, I couldn't fall asleep. I have an Oura ring which tracks my sleep. The problem was throughout this 5 or 6 days, which made it a lot worse, is that most of those nights I didn't sleep at all. 0 minutes. I can guarantee that because I look at my Oura ring stats. It tells me I haven't slept at all. 0. And then a couple of those nights I got like 1 or 2 hours of sleep. So I was getting no sleep for that first 5 or 6 nights. I was miserable throughout the day. I couldn't even look at my phone. I couldn't watch TV. All I was doing was laying down and just thinking about how like this has to end soon. Otherwise I'm gonna probably just die. It was somewhere in like day 5 or day 6. I got the courage to stand up from bed and I went to the bathroom and I looked in the mirror, and I had this moment where I was looking in the mirror and I was kind of like barely just standing at the time. My throat was in maximum pain. My head was spinning. I felt like throwing up again. And in my mind, all I was thinking was like, I'm not sure if my body's gonna be able to handle this and I might die within the next 24 to 48 hours. I really was thinking that. And I remember just having that moment, just looking in the mirror. I thought this might be it. And just thinking about life, you know, I'm like, none of what I thought mattered matters. You know, the only thing that matters is the people that are close to you, the people that matter in your life and your relationships. And I was just like, everything that I cared about before, it doesn't really matter that much, you know, at all. Like nothing. It was just that moment, you know, it kind of hit me there where I was just like, this, you know, a lot of this shit that I care about or people care about, they don't matter at all. The only thing that really matters is being around people that you love and care about and things like that. And that was that moment. And then I got back to bed, I knocked out. To make the long story short, eventually, after I want to say 2 weeks, I started to feel a little bit better. And that's what got me to a place where I was like, whoa, there's some hope. Maybe I'm not dying. Maybe I'm gonna survive this. I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. It was like 2 weeks in. After like, when I say literally just in bed, laying on my back and like staring at the ceiling, doing nothing, that's what I mean. Just staring at the ceiling. Just imagine yourself for 2 weeks, staring at a ceiling with no TV, basically no phone, because every time I looked at it, my head would start spinning. No sleep because you're sweating and you're in so much pain and you're dying. So no, like barely any sleep for that time. And then finally, after a couple of weeks, I got like a couple of nights where I was able to sleep like a decent bit. That helped a lot, just being able to sleep. I didn't even look at my computer screens. Like anything like that would have just tore me apart. So I tried to avoid that kind of stuff, and I slowly started getting better. I remember like it took me about 1 month or a little bit over a month to start feeling like 80%, let's call it. And then to feel 100%, it took me like 2 or 3 months to get back to 100%. Like it was a while. Usually when I get sick, I'll get sick for a week or two and then feel 100% in 2 weeks. But this COVID experience, this one took like 2 or 3 months for me to get to 100%. After a month, at least I was like at 80%. I was like, okay, maybe I can function like a normal human being, but it was terrible, guys. Looking back on it, I'm actually somewhat happy I went through it. Would I ever want to go through it ever again? Absolutely not. It literally felt like I was gonna die. I should have probably went to the hospital. I should have probably called the ambulance and they would have came to my apartment and took me out on a stretcher because I was not in the condition to get up and walk out the door. It would have been impossible for me. I would have crawled to my door and I would have had to crawl. Like it wasn't gonna happen. Like there was no way it was gonna happen where I was gonna make it there by myself. So thankfully throughout that time, my girlfriend came over a couple of times and she put her mask on and she saw that like I was dying. She brought over some medicine and whatever. And even when she came, I couldn't get out of the bed. I was just in the bed and she was like talking to me and saying, do you need something? She bought me all kinds of stuff like water and things like that. So it really helped a lot. But yeah, it was a pretty terrifying experience. One that you learn from in life. One that you learn from in life to maybe get to a place where you're like, I know what matters more than anything now. When you get that close to, you know, a near-death experience, then you realize what actually matters in life and you prioritize things a little bit differently. So I think that was an important experience that I had. And while I don't want to ever have it ever again, just the sleeping part, just not being able to sleep is so bad, guys. God, if you ever had an experience where you go 2 weeks and you're sleeping either 0 minutes per night or 1 to 2 hours per night, you know it's terrible. Your body, your mind, everything's just dead. And by the way, what I didn't mention as well, I wasn't eating throughout this time, literally at all. I was having like 1 banana per day, or like 1 piece of bread per day, 2 pieces of bread per day. That's all I could eat. Otherwise, if I ate anything else, I just felt like I was gonna throw up and my head started spinning again. So I was barely eating, so I lost a lot of weight during that time. After a couple weeks, I started eating again, and that's when I started like, getting back into the habit of like eating as much as I'm supposed to, drinking as much water as I'm supposed to. But before that, it was absolute nightmare. But yeah, I just wanted to share that story with you guys. Maybe you don't have to go through that experience yourself to realize what's important in life. Take care of the people that you love and care about, and just remember, be grateful for your life. You're alive right now. If you're watching this video right now, you're alive. You are alive and kicking. So be grateful for your life. Be thankful that you have your health. And that's the main message I want to leave you with here. Good luck to you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.